Hi guys, so a lot of you did not do your homework, which means that you were not prepared when we started editing. So I'm going to show you how you need to edit your essay to make sure that it's in proper MLA alignment. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to get rid of this URL. If you got an attention grabber from another source, I'm going to show you how to do a proper in-text citation and a proper citation for the works cited page. First thing you need to do is copy the URL. Open up another tab and you can go to easybib.com. Make sure you put that .com in there. It'll take you straight to the website. Once you're in there, make sure you're in MLA and you're on website, and then hit cite. It's going to gather all your information, and then we hit continue to final step. Next thing I need to do is I need to make sure that all of this information is correct. So I need to open up the website where I got my quote from. Okay, so it says that my article title is blame quotes. I look at the top. Yep, looks about right. This is my article title. Blame quotes is good. Author, I'm going to leave blank. Website title, brainy quote. Go back here. Brainy quote. Okay, I'm good on that too. My publisher sponsor is Explore. Now that's either going to be at the top or the bottom. I see nothing at the top. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. I see brainy quotes. I see a copyright down here and it says brainy quote. I don't see anywhere on this page where it says Explore. So I'm going to assume my publisher is actually brainy quote and not this Explore thing that came up. A URL, the date that it was published. I don't think there's going to be a date. So we just need to double check the website, either again on the top or the bottom, and there's nothing there, so we leave that blank. And then the date that you accessed the quote. So hopefully you have the date there. If not, just go ahead and leave it as is, or change it to the day that your guys' essay was due, which was the 21st, and then you can hit create citation. Once you've done that, you will copy and paste your citation. It'll tell you that it's been copied. If this pops up, just go ahead and hit don't show me this again. Then I want you to paste this in-text citation all the way at the bottom of your essay after your very last quote, or I'm sorry, your very last paragraph. Highlight the first part of this citation. Remember, quote marks indicate a title of a short piece of literature, short piece of work. This is a short piece of work. Okay, a bunch of quotes on the page. So it has quote marks around it. I highlighted just the title. If it were the author, I would highlight just the author's last name. And then I'm going to replace this URL with that title I just made. Okay, now the only problem with this is that it has a period. I don't want a period there. Something I want you guys to notice is I have the person who said my quote, their name is right here. Then I have my verb, said. You could have exclaim, you could have remarks, you could have replies, whatever it is that you want here, whatever it is that fits in with the quote. I have quote marks around the quote. If you have this come up, make sure you hit remove. Okay, quote marks around my quote. I want you to notice this at the end of the quote. At the end of the quote, there is no punctuation mark. It's the last letter of the last word followed by the quote mark. Okay, there's no punctuation marks unless it's an exclamation point or a question mark. Then I have a space between my parentheses, which is for my in-text citation. I included the quote marks to show that this is a title. I closed my parentheses, excuse me, and I put a period after that. Another thing I want you to notice is of mice and men. Of mice and men, as indicated in your instructions, it needs to be underlined or italicized. You choose. Okay. Every paragraph needs to be indented. Okay, which means you hit the tab key. You didn't hit the space bar 5 times. Another thing that I saw a common error of is you had extra spaces in between your paragraphs. If your paragraphs look like this, you have a space here that doesn't belong. Get rid of that space, okay? Then, of course, we have our indent for the next paragraph, and then we come to our first argument. When you get to your first argument, I want you to go to your quote. When you get to your quote, go ahead and look that you have a double quote mark around the quote. This double quote mark indicates that the words in between them are not yours. They came from your other source. Now, if a character is speaking in your quote, you need to have the single quote mark. Okay? The single quote mark indicates that someone has said something within my evidence. Okay? Notice that all three of them are together. There is no space between my quote marks and my letters, but there is a space again between the end of my quote and my parentheses. And in this case, I have Steinbeck, who's my author, followed by a page number. Now, again, notice that there's only a space in between the two. There is not a comma. There is not a colon or a semicolon, just a space. And also notice that, again, the ending of my quote does not contain any punctuation mark, because the punctuation mark goes at the end of my in-text citation, because my in-text citation belongs to this sentence. Okay, then after you've done that, check the same thing for your second argument. So this is an example of double quote marks because it's not my words, a single quote mark because Curly's wife is saying this, and then a triple quote mark because this is the end of her speech. That's the end of my evidence, followed by my author and my page number. Refutation paragraph, same thing. Okay, check your quote marks, check your punctuation, and then we're finished with that portion of our essay. The next thing I need you to do is I need you to highlight all of it. That's Control A. And then the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that everything is double spaced. Double space. Okay? Then I'm going to make sure that my text is black and my highlight is none. Okay? The reason why we need to check the highlight is because if I do this, because let's say my website won't copy. Okay? My website won't copy, so I copied this. I copied it manually. And then I paste it in at the end. Okay, you'll notice that the size is different. It's a 10.5 point font versus the 12 that's required. And this one, I don't see the highlight, but usually there's a gray highlight to it. Oh, this one has a white highlight. Okay, so I want it to be none. Usually there's a gray highlight on it, and I want it to be none. So you just need to make sure that you get all of that done. So again, highlight everything. Okay, I want everything to be changed. Make sure that everything is 12-point font. Make sure that everything is Arial or Times New Roman, whichever one you prefer. But keep in mind that when you use Arial, the font's bigger, you get more pages. When you guys get to college, it's important for your writing intensive courses. File, I've got to make this page smaller. Page setup. Margins, 1, bottom 1, left 1, right 1. Okay, everything should be 1 inch. Okay, and let's go ahead and work on the top of our essay. So up here in the top, I'm going to move my first paragraph down 1 space. Okay, this is automatically going to be tabbed because I pressed enter. I made a new paragraph when I was tabbed, so I need to backspace that. Okay, so I should be at the top of my paper. I'm going to write my first and last name. Sorry about that. I'm going to write the date that I am submitting this. I'm going to write the period that I belong to. And I'm going to write my instructor's name, which in this case, your guys' teacher's name is me, Mrs. Alpage-Canine. Okay, and then I'm going to center. Okay, and I am going to create my title. Now, your title needs to be something that's original. Okay, so it should not have George's name in it, or Lenny's name, or Of Mice and Men, or John Steinbeck, or anything to do with the book itself, but rather it should be something that has to deal with what you're talking about in your essay. Okay, also take notice that it is centered, and important letters are capitalized. Unimportant letters would be as, and, the, a, in the center of anywhere in the middle of a sentence. Okay, those are not important, but those are the only things that distinguish my title, is that it's centered and the important words are capitalized. Once you've done this, we need to insert our header. So in order to insert a header with page numbers, you need to make sure that you hit insert page number, and then you'll select the very first one on the very first option. There's a 1 and a 2 in the upper right hand corner. Okay, it's the first icon. So the 1 comes there, and on page 2 we'll say page 2, page 3 will say page 3, and it automatically numbers your pages for you. Your cursor would have been behind the number. I need you to put it in front of the number, and then type out your last name. Put a space between your last name and that page number. I want you to know, if you do not do insert page number, and let's say you just went into the header, you clicked into it, and you decide, okay, this is page 1, so I'm going to put a 1 in there. What ends up happening is that page 2 also says page 1, and page 3 also says page 1, and so forth and so on, which is not okay. So we need to make sure that we do this right, and we go insert page number. Choose the proper one. Okay. Next thing you need to do is make sure that this is also 12-point font. So mine was 11. It came up 11. I need to make sure it's 12. Okay, 12-point font. It needs to be black, needs to be Arial, and then I'm good. Okay, so I have my header with my last name and my page number, my first and last name, the day I submitted this paper, my period, my instructor, my title. I tabbed on my first paragraph, my introduction paragraph, which has my attention getter and my my thesis. Then I have my background paragraph, my first argument, second argument, refutation, and then I have my conclusion. Now, I'm missing a source on here. I'm missing my Senmen book, and unfortunately I didn't bring it home with me, so I can't give you guys a number for my book. But what you would do is, if you have your own book, on the back of your book, let me see if I can look it up. Maybe I can find an image for you. Okay. Not exactly what I was looking for, but this will have to do. So if you have this book like I had it, okay, on the back there is a barcode that sort of looks like this. Oh, this is a good example. There's a barcode on the back. Above the barcode will be an ISBN number. You type in the entire ISBN number. Click on book, type in the entire ISBN number right here. Okay? Your entire ISBN number gets typed in right there. If you have a book, look for that. Okay. I don't have my book with me, so I am going to look for a book of my Sandman. Okay. So it's searching the internet. This one looks like the one that I have, because it says it was 1993 publishing, and that's when my copy was published. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cite this. It's the whole book. My author is John Steinbeck, so that's correct. My title is wrong. The reason why it's wrong is because the M's are not capitalized, so I need to make sure that my M's are capitalized. The rest of this looks right. I'm going to go ahead and click Create Citation. Okay, then my citation comes out. I'm going to copy and paste citation. It says it's copied. Go back to my essay, and I'm going to put that in. Now, this is a works cited page. If by chance your citations are on the previous page, you need to press enter until you are on a new page. Works cited pages are always, always, always on their own page. Okay, and then I'm going to hit enter again because I need to title this as a works cited page. I'm going to center and then write works cited. Use that S, works cited, every time, even if you only have one work to cite. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is make sure that this is in alpha order. My sources are in alpha order, and it is, B comes before S, so I'm good on that. Show you, although it won't apply to most of you guys for this essay, is how to do a reverse. Oops. How to do a reverse indent, because when you have a source that spans many lines, this is just the standard way that you do it. Okay, so we are going to highlight all of our works, all of our sources, And we're going to go to our ruler. If you don't see this ruler, you need to go View, Show Ruler. Okay, click on View, Show Ruler. So you'll notice that my margin, this is my margin, where the gray meets the white. Okay, that's my margin. Right between the two of them is this triangle and the rectangle. Okay, same thing on the other side. This is my margin where the gray meets the white. There is a triangle there. I'm going to grab the triangle on the left hand side and I'm going to pull it to the 1/2 inch mark that is between the where it was on the 0 line and the 1. Okay, and did you guys see how this all moved? It's like it indented, like I pressed the tab and it indented. Except this is not the end of it because we're doing a reverse indent. So then I need to grab the little rectangle above it. It says first line indent. And I need to move it back to where the gray meets the white. And that is a reverse indent. So what that means is that every line, after the first will be indented automatically. This is a reverse indent. That is MLA citation proper. Okay. And that is about it. That's all I have for you. I hope that this was good. You understood it. If you don't, make sure that you email me or you ask questions. Come in for help. Come in for study hall. I hope to get 100% of your essays in ASAP. Get it done. Good luck, guys.